Good morning, everyone. Today we are starting the subject called finite element method. So, in this particular subject, we are dealing with the numerical part because the FEM is a numerical technique used to find out the approximate solution to various complex engineering problems. So you have solved so many problems on the bar, beams, and so many plates in the mechanics of materials. So all the problems can be solved with the help of FEM also. And remember, whatever the problems which is not possible with the help of a mathematical technique called or with the help of mechanics of material, that can be solved with the help of FEM. Okay, so take any complex engineering problems, the finite element method can be applied and it can get the solution which is approximate. The finite element method or finite element analysis is a computational technique used to obtain the approximate solutions of the boundary value problems in engineering. Let us see some history, how it is originated and all. In 1960, Ray Clough first published a paper using the term finite element method. Then in the 1967, the first book on the finite element method was published by Chung. In the late 1960s and early to the 1970s, the FEM was applied to a wide variety of engineering problems. It includes production and aerospace industries and so many other design industries also. And in the 1970s, most commercial FEM software packages like Abacus, Nastran, ANSYS were originated. Okay, so this is the brief introduction about the finite element method. Okay. So now let us see a very important topic in the FEM, that is steps involved in finite element analysis of a structure. So this is the basic procedure of FEM. Whatever the problems you solve with the help of FEM, so these set of procedure you need to follow. So the very first one is discretization of a given continuum. Say for example, if it is a plane figure like a square or rectangular or circular, you can easily find its area and you can easily find the stress which is acting on the plane areas. But whenever a complex problem is given to you, for example, a tool head of a shaper, a headstock of a lathe, so in these cases, it is very complex structure it is. You cannot easily find its area. So and hence you cannot able to find the stress which is acting on them, isn't it? So in that case, the FEM will consider it as a discretization of a given continuum. Here continuum is nothing but a structure or a material which is given to you, right? First you need to discretize them, means you have to divide a big quantity into smaller number of elements. Okay, smaller number of parts called elements. The number of elements, its a type and its size and the arrangement of elements are to be described in this step. So this is the very important step in a FEM. Okay, first you have to divide a complex problem into smaller parts called elements. Okay, so this is the first. Second step is selecting a proper interpolation or displacement model, because initially you don't know what is the solution to the given problem. So you need to assume that the displacement model is to be a polynomial or trigonometric, so which is suitable to solve, that you can able to assume. If it is a trigonometric, it is somewhat difficult to solve the problem. If it is a polynomial like a cubic equation, fourth order equation, then we can easily solve them. Hence, since the displacement variation of the field variable within the element is unknown, hence we assume some suitable displacement model in an element to the approximate unknown solution. So this point is simply defining the or selecting the proper interpolation model. I will tell you how actually you need to take and all. When we are solving the problem, you will get understand, right? And the third point is deriving the element stiffness matrix and element load vector. So whenever you consider any problem like bar, beams, trusses, and whatever, fluid elements, heat transfer problems, whatever you take, you have to, determine the stiffness matrix for that. So in detail in the next chapters, we are going to discuss the stiffness matrix for a bar element, stiffness matrix for a beam element, truss element, fluid element, heat transfer element. See, we will get to know what actually the stiffness matrix and element load vector in the coming chapters. Okay. So here we need to determine the stiffness matrix for a problem under consideration. Fine. Okay, next. Then assemblage of the element stiffness matrices. See, here what is the meaning of assemblage of stiffness matrix is that, so here for example, if you consider a two-dimensional figure or three-dimensional figure, you need to find out three stiffness matrices. Okay, if you consider three elements or two elements, you need to determine each elemental stiffness matrix, and then you have to assemble them. I will show you how to assemble and all in the next video. Okay, so for a time being, you just remember that you need to assemble the stiffness matrix and the load vectors. Okay, and you need to put up like this: K into Q is equal to F, where K is the assembled global stiffness matrix, assembled or global stiffness matrix, Q is the nodal displacement vector, okay, and F is the force vector. Okay, we will discuss how actually this equation will come and how to put up in this equation in the next video. Okay, then applying boundary conditions. The boundary condition given in a problem can be applied by using two methods. Okay, one is elimination approach and another is penalty approach. So we will discuss one by one in the again next video. So here elimination method is nothing but wherever the boundary condition we know, that row, that column we need to eliminate. We'll discuss. Okay. Then penalty approach is some other method. This is one more method to find out the unknown displacements. Okay. And last point is solve for unknown variables. Okay. Once the equilibrium equation is known or generated, then simply with the help of elimination approach or the penalty approach, we have to find out the elemental displacements and stresses, strains, support reaction with the help of the boundary condition. So this is about the a brief introduction to how to step by step you need to solve the problem. Okay, and this is most important question for the examination point of view. Remember that also. Then let us see the advantages of FEM. So here you can able to solve the FEM with the help of any irregular boundary condition. If it is there, you can able to solve with the help of FEM. Whatever the loads you take, whether it is a point load, uniformly distributed load, or uniformly varying load, whatever the boundary condition and loading condition are there, you can easily solve with the help of FEM. Okay. And next is different materials. You can solve the problem with the help of any material you can take, any material. Okay. Then the boundary condition. Whatever the boundary condition you impose, okay, so you will get a solution for a particular problem with the help of FEM. And here variable element size, easy modification. So modification can be done at any time here. Okay. So that is the one of the very big advantages of using the FEM. Then dynamics, and then non-linear problems. See, any non-linear problems can also be solved with the help of FEM. And in addition to this, if you are having a or material anisotropy, okay, for example, if the elastic properties are not constant in all the directions, that is what we know as anisotropy, and non-homogeneity. So such a problems can be solved without much difficulty. Okay, and this method is superior to other approximation methods like Galerkin and Rayleigh-Ritz methods. So this we are going to study in the next module. Okay, and finite element model can be altered at any time very easily. Non-linear behavior, as we have discussed, with a large deformation and non-linear material can be handled very easily, and it is enabled to computer programming. So these are some of the advantages of FEM, and definitely it has limitations also. So that also we will discuss. So first limitation is that computational time involved in the solution of the problem is very high. So here, as I said that you need to solve the matrices and all in the FEM, and even though it is an approximate solution, it is a very lengthier problems. Okay, you need to solve 6 by 6 stiffness matrices or 4 by 4 stiffness matrices, depends upon the boundary condition. That order of the matrix also varies. So as the order of the matrix increases, definitely the time required, computational time required will be very high. Okay, and for a fluid dynamic problems, some other method of analysis may prove efficient than the FEM. Okay, so for a fluid dynamic problems, FEM is not suitable. Okay, some other method you can choose. FEM is applied to approximation of the mathematical model of the system. So as I said that it is approximate method. In the concept only we have inherited errors. Okay, so definitely it will give a approximate solution. This is one of the limitation of using the FEM. And experience and judgment are needed in order to construct a good FE model. This is one of the limitations. Then mistakes by the users can be fatal. So these are the some of the limitations of using the FEM. Next, some common applications of FEM. So this FEM can be applied to mechanical, aerospace, civil, automotive, biomedical engineering. Structural or stress analysis we can able to determine with the help of FEM. So it may be static, it may be dynamic, or linear, non-linear. Any variety of the problems can be solved with the help of FEM. And FEM can also be applied to fluid flow problems, heat transfer problems, electromagnetic fields, and acoustics. So in this area, FEM is covered. And then static analysis. So static and dynamic analysis of the problems we can discuss in the next module, and this is applicable to modal analysis, harmonic response analysis, and transient dynamic analysis. So these problems, modal analysis is used to find out the natural frequencies. Harmonic response analysis is used to find out the steady state response of a linear structure to sinusoidal loads. And a transient dynamic analysis is used to determine the response to time dependent loads. Okay, time variable loads also we can say. Some application like seismic or explosive events, this transient dynamic analysis is used. And FEM's application for solving practical problems demands the availability of the powerful FEA software implemented on a computer. And NISA, Nastran, Abacus, ANSYS are general purpose commercial FEA softwares. So these are the most commonly used softwares for ANSYS or FEM packages. These software program modules can provide accurate numerical solutions to a variety of problems in the solid mechanics, structural mechanics, heat transfer, and fluid dynamics. So these are some of the application of FEM. So